Now, let's go back to the year 1863. That's about the time that the American Civil War was going on.
Sure was.
And we have this guy named Thomas Nast. And he was an illustrator, an artist who drew pictures that were published in newspapers. They couldn't put photographs in newspapers at the time, so they had illustrations that were drawn by a lot of people. And Thomas Nast was a famous illustrator. And one of the first pictures to show this new image of Santa Claus that was based on that poem, or based on that description in the poem, was drawn by Thomas Nast back in the year 1863.
Cool. So he took those words in the poem and he created an image that we all recognize today. You know, he was very famous. He actually created Uncle Sam. Now, some of you in school have probably studied that particular image of Uncle Sam. He's kind of tall and skinny, and he represents Americans. He created that too. So he was very well known for creating what we actually imagine when we think of Santa these days. He was probably also the first to show Santa in a red and white suit. You know, Santa has different clothes on back in 1800s, early 1800s. In fact, most of what I've seen is black and white, so we can't even tell what colors he's wearing. But I think it's really great that he put him in red and white. Red is very cheery and happy, and we've described Santa as being jolly. In fact, that's a word we use with Santa all the time, Jolly Saint Nick. And so red and white really are suitable for Santa.
That's right. Okay, and we're saying Nast was probably also the first person to do this. So we're not 100% sure. It happened a long time ago, but it's very likely that he did this. He's probably the one who showed him in a red and white suit, which would have been better than a purple suit, for example.
Or black or brown.
Yeah, that would have really been awful. Well, these clothes were made popular in a series of advertisements for the Coca-Cola Company back in the 1930s. So we're moving forward in time. We're going to the period of time just before World War II started, and the Coca-Cola Company was around then, and they wanted to sell their product right, so they came up with these advertisements that depicted or showed Santa Claus in the same way.
It's perfect because the colors that Coca-Cola uses as a company are white and red, remember? Okay, so since then, no one has ever doubted Santa's true appearance again. We've all sort of accepted that that's what he really looks like. When you doubt something, you're not really certain something's true. Maybe you're not very confident about what someone tells you, and so you doubt what they're saying. You might want to check on it to make sure they're telling you the truth. Well, no one's doubted that this is how Santa actually looks. They've gotten used to seeing this particular appearance. An appearance of someone just means the way they look. The way something looks or somebody looks is their appearance.
Right, so this is talking about his appearance or what he looks like. Now, though his appearance hasn't changed much in recent years, the story of Santa has still developed. To develop means to change. You have a bunch of ideas and they kind of change over time and become more of a finished product. So the idea or the story of Santa Claus is still kind of developing. It changes from time to time. Every once in a while they come up with a new story about Santa Claus that sort of changes the story from what it used to be.
Yeah, a lot of this has to do with the new cartoons that come out on TV that little kids watch. When I was very young, I remember Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, coming out. I think it actually was made before I was born, but it was a new idea that he had a reindeer named Rudolph. Rudolph is the one that has the red nose and everyone makes fun of him. And then one day he's the one reindeer that can fly in really stormy weather with his red light bulb on his nose. Well, that's a way that the story of Santa has changed and developed over time. They needed Rudolph to help deliver the gifts. Of course, when you deliver something, you take something that you have to someone and you give it to them. I love the mailman because he delivers letters to me.
Right, that's from the famous song, of course. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? And of course, Rudolph was able to help deliver those presents because it was a foggy Christmas Eve. Visibility was not very good. And of course, that's how we get the gifts on Christmas. But again, that's a change to the story that occurred later on. Now, if you've been good this year, they both might pay you a visit on Christmas Eve. To pay somebody a visit, of course, is to go over to their house and see how they're doing. Hey, Stephanie, I just thought I'd drop by and pay you a visit to see how you're doing. Well, here to pay someone a visit is our shortcut for you today. Let's take a closer look.
Shortcut for you.
Hey there! Where are you going?
I'm off to pay a visit to my grandmother.
Oh, how much are you paying her? Is she quite poor or something?
No, silly. I'm not going to pay her anything. To pay someone a visit just means to go and see them.
Oh, 所以 pay somebody a visit 是拜访某人的意思。
Exactly.
That reminds me, I have to pay my friend Bob a visit soon.
Oh, really? Do you miss him?
He has to pay me back the money I lent him.
Okay, everybody, so that's kind of the story of Santa. That's the history behind our current day Santa Claus. We hope you've enjoyed it. Now it's time to listen to our Chinese teacher.